Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Cassie. I talk about video games, do video game reviews, unboxings, and all sorts of other video game related topics. Today I'm just going to do my pickups. I haven't done pickups in probably about a year. I used to pick up games all the time, physical copies, but I don't have a collection like I used to. I used to have over 1,000 games, but I ended up having to sell a large chunk of it because I had surgery in 2021 and surgery, hospital bills can be kind of crazy and ridiculous. So that's what I did. And I kept a lot of my current gen. So I still have PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, and that's pretty much it. I sold like all my childhood collection. And yeah, it kind of sucked because I used to have a really nice collection and it was really cool. You know, some people don't really care too much for physical, but I personally, I think it's cool to have. I did play a lot of them. I didn't play every single game. There were games that I didn't like that I had in my collection, but it's just kind of a cool thing to just walk into like a room that you have designated for video games and you just have bookshelves upon bookshelves of games just like lined up in a row. It's kind of like having your own personal library. And I like video games a lot. I also like books. I like a lot of things, and people collect all sorts of things. So that was what I collected. And it's slowly building up. I just, once I get financially in a place where I can start building up my old consoles and stuff again, I will do that for sure. But yeah, there's not like a terrible amount of games that I bought this year. It's mostly just like first releases, and then of course I play a lot of Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. But if I happen to really like a game, or even if I like 100% it on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, and I want to get a physical copy and it's available or it comes out, I will get it because I like to support those companies, especially when they make something really cool and unique. So it's going to be a mixture of that and just, brand new releases from this year. There's also a couple of accessories and like plush and stuff that I got. Some of them as gifts and some like collector edition things, pre-order bonuses, whatever. But yeah, so let's get to it. It's not really in any sort of order because I have no idea like when I started getting these. But this one was just released like a week or two ago. This is Life is Strange Double Exposure. I am a huge fan of the Life is Strange series. I have played every single one of them. I didn't like 2 as much, but it was still a good game. And the first Life is Strange is one of my favorite games of all time, and I really liked Max. So when they revealed that Max was coming back, I got really excited. Now, this is not Don't Nod. Don't Nod is the original team that made the first Life is Strange. This is Deck 9. Deck 9 did True Colors, and they might have done something else too, but I liked True Colors quite a bit, actually. And I've played the first 2 chapters of this, and I like it so far. I wouldn't say that I like it as much as the first Life is Strange. Maybe around, I don't know if I like it as much as Before the Storm either, but it's cool to go back as Max. Max is now, she's like working at a college, photography college or whatever. And can't really go into Life is Strange without spoilers, so I'm not going to do that. Next game, I'm just going to do this because I've got the pre-order bonus. I actually got the collector's edition of this. It came with Aigis statue and the soundtrack and stuff. I really like Persona a lot. Persona 3 Fez was my first game in the series. I played it when it first released. I was working at GameStop back in that time, and somebody pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. You can go to school and have a job and then defeat monsters in a dungeon after. That's cool. And it was just a cool concept that I'd never seen in a game before, and the cutscenes were phenomenal for PlayStation 2, and yeah, I really liked it back then, but after playing 4 and 5, I don't think I like Persona 3 as much. They did a really good job with the remake. Reload is definitely the way to play it now, I think. I tried to play the Persona 3 Portable, which is not what I played originally. And I tried to play it before this was announced, and it didn't connect with me, especially since Portable does not have cutscenes. I know some people favor Portable, but those cutscenes were really something from Fez. So, yeah, this doesn't hit the same. Tartarus is very much a slog of a dungeon to kind of go through, and it's not as fun. The story's okay, but the characters also just don't seem to have as much depth as 4 or 5 to me personally. And the music's good, but there are a couple of songs that play on loop that drive me nuts. So Persona 3 just doesn't do it for me as much. And this was a little keychain that came with the pre-order. It's pretty cool. I like that. And Aigis is really cool too. I think of all the characters in Persona 3, Aigis is definitely the coolest. I did like the game a lot more than I liked the DLC. The DLC sucked, to be quite honest. It was a slog, it was unnecessary, and I don't think it really added much to it. It added some to it, but I don't know. I did not like it. And then Astrobot. This is my current game of the year. This is a 10 out of 10 video game for me. Yes, like the story, there's not really much to it, but it's an excellent 3D platformer, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia. Even without the nostalgia, I think it's an incredible game. There's all sorts of bots to collect, a lot of them from Sony franchises that no longer exist, and it really makes me want to go back and play some games that I never played before, especially like on Persona on the PSP and the PS Vita. There were some games that I was like, oh, you know what, I never got to play those, but they're on PlayStation Plus. I might just do it. There's a lot of speed runs that have been dropping, and I've been having fun with those, although they are frustrating to try and get to the top on a lot of them, and you end up just keep playing and playing and playing until your thumbs, you can't feel them anymore. And I also got the Astrobot controller. This is pretty sweet. I showed this in the review that I had, so check out that review if you want. And then I also got an Astrobot plushie from a friend. A friend sent this to me as a birthday gift. So yeah, now this is also a gift from a friend, a different friend, but I got a Tunic plush. This is adorable. So adorable, and he's really soft too. I love Tunic. Tunic's a great game if you want to play like a really cool Zelda-like that also kind of has like some Dark Souls elements to it. Definitely check out Tunic. It's cool. And the puzzles in that game are just like crazy. It's so cool because as you play, there's like a manual, an instruction booklet, and as you play, you discover new things, and it like fills out the manual as you're playing. And so it's so cryptic at the beginning, like you have no idea, it has no guidance whatsoever, but as you start to unlock more things through the manual, it's just really, really neat. I've never seen any game do what it does before. And then speaking of Zelda, I've got Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and then it came with a little diorama here, which is really cool. I'm not gonna put this up until like I get like another shelf that I can assemble it with. I do really like this a lot because I like some of the like more like original Zeldas. I'm more of a 3D Zelda, but not Breath of the Wild, more like Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker style. Those are my Zeldas personally, but not that like Breath of the Wild is bad or anything, it just doesn't hook me like those did. And I really like this a lot. This is fun, it's unique. You don't really have any combat, it's just you mimicking like all sorts of different enemies and objects and stuff. You use the objects that you mimic to get around, like you can stack beds to get to a higher level. You can use enemies to fight for you, and it's just very clever, and like there's so many different ways that you can play this game, and it's really cool. The only issue I have with this is the performance. This does not run very well, but they did just announce that this Switch successor, whichever that's going to be, I hope it's named Switch 2 because that would make more sense. Personally, I think it sounds better than what they could possibly do, like Wii Switch U or whatever. I think I hope that this will run smoother on that because they did announce that it's going to be backwards compatible, so fingers crossed, but hopefully I'll finish it by then. I am still on Jabu, Lord Jabu, whatever. Yeah, so that's that. And then this is also a recent release, Metaphor ReFantazio, or Tazio. This is a really cool game, despite the name. I think Metaphor would have been just fine, but it's just the style of this, it just brought me back, because playing through Persona 3 Reload kind of brought me down, and I was like, do I really like Persona anymore? Or is this a Persona 3 problem? And it's a Persona 3 problem. This is quite a bit different, and surprisingly it feels like a lot more mature than what a Persona, like as far as like themes and just what it's trying to put across, I guess. And it's more difficult than Persona. It's rated T for teen, but it's got some kind of some elements to it. I guess it's not out in front as much as Persona is, but yeah, it's really cool. I am still in the cathedral right now because I'm playing like, I don't know, like 6 games at a time, and I don't know why I do this to myself because I run my own business and I don't have time to play 6 games at a time. But yeah, it's really awesome, and I definitely recommend it. The soundtrack's really good. I don't know if it's as good as Persona 5, because Persona 5's jazzy soundtrack is amazing, and but it's really cool. If you like medieval fantasy and RPGs, it's turn-based, but it also has like introduces some like new elements and stuff than Persona, and I hope they kind of use this for the next Persona game, because I really like what they've kind of like brought to this. It's a lot more in depth as far as the story goes and stuff too, because there's a lot of background, a lot of different types of people and monsters and stuff, and you can just kind of like read up on everything. Kind of reminds me of how like one of the things that I think Final Fantasy 16 did really well was give you the option to kind of read up on the background story and learn about the world and everything that's going on. And this does a similar sort of thing as far as that goes. Now, like, I did not like Final Fantasy 16 as much as I wanted to, as far as like the story. No, I like the story. I just did not like some of the combat and the gameplay of it. But this is a game that I played through 2 years ago, I think, and it got a Switch release. This is Citizen Sleeper. I personally have not played a game kind of like this before, because I don't play a lot of tabletop games or anything. It's kind of it's like a visual novel, but your choices are dependent on rolling dice. So there's different actions and stuff you can do, but it's all depending on, you know, what your number dice you roll. And it's just kind of like a sci-fi dystopian, also kind of, in a way, kind of like Blade Runner in a sense. And I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I thought it was really, really cool, and it's got a cool story. The second one's coming out next year, so check out the demo for the second one. I don't know if this is still on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass, wherever it was that I played it, but check it out if you have that available. It's definitely worth playing. I'm not really, typically I don't really care for visual novels all too much. Like I do not like, what is it? Oh, there's this one visual novel that everybody loves that I cannot stand. And I can't think of the name of it right now, but yeah. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Luigi's Mansion is one of my favorite games on GameCube, and I was really excited to get this and play it. I haven't really played 3. Despite the controls being a little wonky on here, I have not finished it because I did not really like the controls at all. They just don't really, I don't feel like they work very well. But other than that, I think it's a decent game. I wouldn't say it's as good as Luigi's Mansion, the first one, but then again, I have not played that since I was a kid, so I can't really say. Yeah, it's basically, if you've never played Luigi's Mansion, it's like kind of like Ghostbusters, but with Luigi. And then we've got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. This is the only Paper Mario game I've played on, just in general. I played it back in the day, and it got a re-release or remaster, remake, whatever it was. I still have not opened it and played it yet because I'm kind of slow on getting through like Switch games for some reason. I don't really turn on my Switch all that much, as much as I should anyway. So yeah, I'm excited to play through it again. I don't like playing too many RPGs at a time. I like to kind of mix it up, so it'll be a while before I get to that. This is another game that I bought it on Steam. It wasn't available on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus at the time. It is on PlayStation Plus now. But Dave the Diver. I finished this game earlier this year on Steam. This game is a masterpiece. I love this game so much. It's a simulator. It's kind of like an RPG, almost like a roguelite. You go diving for fish. There's also a bunch of discovery too, like trying to like find all the fish, all the legendary fish, and you collect them. And then at night, you run a sushi restaurant, so like Diner Dash. It's just really, really cool. And this game, I think it took me, I don't know if I put like 60 hours or so into this game, and just when you think it's going to start to get repetitive, it changes it up, and there's like something new brought into it, and it's so good. I mean, it's just like pixel art, but it's a really, really cool and unique game. It's still my favorite game that I've played this year, even over Astrobot. This game was so much fun to me, and I will play it again. Actually, I need to like actually go back and get all the achievements because I think I only have like 5 left, so I might do that soon. This is a game that was originally on Xbox. This was kind of a limited exclusive, timed exclusive on Xbox back in, I want to say like 2021, maybe 22, 21. This was one of my favorite games of that year. I played it right at release. It was on Game Pass day one because it was an Xbox exclusive, and it's, I guess, kind of like a visual novel, like a walking sim visual novel, but yet again, like this one did it really well and unique. Like the art style is really cool. It's kind of like almost like watercolor but as kind of like a storybook kind of. It's really hard to like explain. Like the animations are very slow, so it's like slow, like turning a page, so they're not like actively moving. It's kind of like just kind of like almost like stop motion, but not with watercolor. And it's got a really cool, unique story. There's different branches of paths you can take. It did kind of end like it's supposed to have a sequel, and I haven't heard anything on it, so that's kind of concerning, I guess. I don't think enough people played this game, and because I think with the previews it looked a little, just from like the art style and the way of the movement, like maybe was a turnoff for a lot of people, but this game is really, really good. I definitely suggest trying this one out if you like those types of games. Even if you don't like those types of games, like if you like Life is Strange or Telltale or any of those, definitely check it out. This is a game that I still need to play. It's a roguelite, basically, kind of. But it's like a horror, and it takes place in a car. And there's like this apocalypse kind of thing that's happening, and you're trying to get your car moving, build parts and stuff, and try to get out before this kind of like takes over. It's really interesting and really cool. I played this at PAX West, the demo, and that's why I got the deluxe edition, because I was talking with the devs in line and stuff, and it was really cool. And it was my first PAX, and this kind of like, you know, kind of had an impact on me. So I just I still need to get it open, but it's got like a book in there and stuff, and it's really really unique and cool. So definitely check this out if you like horror, if you like driving games. I like all sorts of genres, to be quite honest. Like I'll play like just about anything. And then this is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Really, really sad what Ubisoft decided that they don't want to do a sequel on this because it did not meet expectations in sales, although it was well received, not like some of the other stuff that they release, which Ubisoft releases some really, really good smaller titles, to be quite honest. Like Valiant Hearts is a great game. Child of Light is a great game. And when they like expect for these to sell as well as like a Far Cry or you know, as much as like Assassin's Creed or something, like of course it's not going to, because it's Prince of Persia. It's a little more niche. It's a Metroidvania, you know, which a lot of people love Metroidvanias, but it's not always like everyone's style. I'm personally not a Metroidvania person, but this game is super, super smooth. It's very well done. The performance is great, which is not something you can say with a lot of Ubisoft titles when they first release. And I think they should reconsider. I know they've said that they've put these people on like different projects. At least they like didn't let them go. But like, come on. Like, this game was amazing. A lot of people really like this game a lot. I still need to go back and play it just because I have to be in the mood for this type of game, but it is very smooth. I also played this one at PAX West as well, so I knew I had to get it because of like this plays like so like fast paced, and just the animation style, and it's just very like colorful and stuff, and it's just a really good game. So I know it's on a lot of people's like top 10 lists for Game of the Year as well. Yet another game that I played that I loved, and this is my first and my only limited run game that I've pre-ordered. I love Pentiment. This was an Xbox exclusive when it first released. It's by Obsidian. It's kind of like a smaller title, almost feels like an indie, and it's very like historical, and all the animation is like hand drawn, and it's kind of like a, you know, like kind of like an RPG visual novel murder mystery sort of thing going on, but it takes place in like the 1500s, kind of like during like the witch trials and all sorts of things, and it's very unique in the style too, because each character, their personality comes out through their text. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to see here, but this text will be like in different font depending on the character, so it kind of like brings out their personality and stuff, and it's just really, really cool. And if you like history at all, it's definitely worth playing through. I think I put like 25 hours into this, and yeah, it's one of my favorite games. I think this is a masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10 for me as well. And then I just recently got Alan Wake 2. I did not play the first Alan Wake until I think it was earlier this year, or was it last year? I don't know. The days go by so fast. But I've not played really any other Remedy games. I need to play Control first before I play this. And I'm not like a huge horror fan when it comes to video games. I love, horror movies and books and stuff, but video games are different. But it's kind of a different style. I don't know. I really liked the story of the first Alan Wake, being a Stephen King fan and stuff. It kind of had some references to him, and yeah, it's just I'm excited to try this out. I did also apply to be like a kind of like a tester, not like a tester, play tester, yeah, for Remedy. So we'll see if they ever contact me back. I don't know. Especially since I've only played Alan Wake, the first one. I did play a little bit of Max Payne 3 back in the day, but yeah. I'm excited to try this out. I know it's creepier. It's supposed to be scarier than Alan Wake, because Alan Wake wasn't really scary. It was more of a thriller, and I'm more, I'd rather play thriller games. But I've heard so many good things about this, and just like all the previews and like the cutscenes and animations and stuff, I was like, this is probably the best looking game that I think I've ever seen. So excited to try that out. This is another game that somebody had said something about it like online. I think this came out this year. But this is Indica. You play as, I think it's like based in Russia during like the 1800s, 1700s. Yeah, and you play as a nun, and it's kind of like a self-discovery journey, and it seemed pretty interesting. I played maybe about 2 hours of it, and wow, the story seems like very interesting and kind of honestly a little weird. The pacing of it is just, it's really slow. She walks extremely slow, and I don't know, sometimes these kinds of walking simulators sometimes take a little bit longer for me to enjoy, so I may play it at a different time. But yeah, I know a lot of people really praise that game a lot. So another 10 out of 10 masterpiece game that I picked up because I loved the game when I played it last year. This was one of my favorite games of last year as well. Cocoon. This is by the people, well, it's got some people from the Playdead team. Playdead did Inside, Limbo. Any game that is from a previous Playdead dev, I just eat it all up. It's so good. I love Somerville. I love Cocoon. Yeah, I like any kind of, I'm gonna call them Playdead likes, because they don't really have a genre, like action adventure, puzzle adventure, whatever, puzzle side scroller, I don't know. I think any of them that are in Playdead style. Now this one's a little bit different because it's an isometric puzzle game where you play as kind of, I think it's a cicada. Yeah, it's a cicada, and you've got these orbs that you have to like fit in different places to kind of warp between different worlds and stuff. And there's like these big bigger bugs, insects that you're trying to kind of get away from. And the art style of this game and the sound, like the audio mixing of this game is just like, whoa! I don't know. It sounded so different than anything I've played. I was just like, I didn't even play it with headphones on. I was just like, wow, this sounds really cool. And I don't know. I think it's worth playing, definitely. Yeah, and I hope they make more. I don't remember who. Geometric Interactive, I guess is what the name is. I don't know if it's just one Playdead employee or if it's several of them. Oh, okay. Jep Carlson, lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside. So I don't know if really like Playdead exists anymore because they've all seemed to like do their own thing, but yeah. And then the last game, I think this is all I've got. Sorry this video so long, but Star Wars Outlaws. I did like some of the mechanics of this game. It did seem kind of interesting, but I'm gonna be quite honest. I still very, very, very much prefer the Jedi games, and I think a lot of people just sleep on The Force Unleashed. I really liked The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, but yeah, nobody talks about it ever. I like Shadows of the Empire. That was a great game too. Star Wars Outlaws is okay. It's okay. I wouldn't say that it's like bad. There are some mechanics that are bad, but I don't think overall that it's a bad game. It's just the mechanics, especially with the stealth, don't always work as well as they should. There's like certain things, like if you get caught during a mission or you die during a mission and you have to start over, but you lose your reputation points. And that can get really frustrating because the stealth is not great. So you're going to fail a few times, and if your reputation is going down, and they're going to start shooting at you when you if you're trying to, have a positive relationship with a group of people or whatever. And it's just kind of annoying, honestly, and that's why I quit playing. I put 12 hours into it or so. And yeah, it's okay, but it's definitely not what they kind of made it out to be at all. I do like Nyx. Nyx is cute. The main protagonist, Kay, she's okay. She's not as badass as I think I would want her to be, but as an outlaw, I mean, she doesn't really kind of have that attitude. But she is cool, and it's just, I don't know. I wish it was better, but I can't really say that I'm surprised. I did actually cancel. This was before they announced Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to be moved to February. I canceled after I played this because I love Ubisoft, and I've already been going over this, but they have, and they've always kind of had this tendency to release games that are extremely buggy and need to be worked on. And I don't think their crunch is worth what I don't think it's worth it. So I really hope that they kind of learn, but they've been doing this for such a long time that I just don't, I love Assassin's Creed. I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed from the beginning. They are not what they used to be. I miss the Animus. I'm one of those weird people that played Assassin's Creed from the beginning when it first released, before it released on demos, and I fell in love with it, and then they kind of completely just threw that story out. And the new games are good, but they don't really feel like they're in the same universe to me, to be quite honest. And They just, I don't know, they're not the same. And it started with Black Flag, but Black Flag is an amazing game, but, you know, mainly because I think the, you know, ship part of Black Flag is amazing. But, yeah, like Assassin's Creed 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I actually really liked the first one, even though it, you know, wasn't, you know, it doesn't hold up as much as the others, but the story of it was really interesting, I thought. And yeah, I miss what they used to be. And I love Far Cry also. I didn't really get into 6. I liked 5 quite a bit, and 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, I don't know why they keep pushing and pushing out games. Like, spend more time on them, you know, let the developers work. Like, stop crunching. Crunching sucks because everything's like pushed out and it's crap, so don't do that. Like, I don't know why they feel like they have to do that. Give it, like, you know, another year, another 6 months, something, you know, just don't push out games that are not ready. That's all I have to say. And yeah, that's all I have for pickups for this year. And I'm sure next year will be crazy because there's Grand Theft Auto 6. There's all sorts of different games that are coming out next year that I'm going to be crazy about. And yeah, but that's a video for later. So I'll see you guys later.